Ian, we have Tales from the Game Store, which is, I think the name is going to stick.
All right. Let's do it. It's to the point. Okay, so this past week I had two that were, nothing quite like the previous weeks, but rather annoying. One was the kid that I said I wanted to launch into the sun on Twitter. He was about 12 years old, maybe 10, somewhere between 10 and 12. And he came in with his dad. And he starts looking around, and within a minute, he has 3 games in his hand. He's like, Dad, I want these 3 games.
Uh-huh.
And his dad's like, I told you the entire time over here. He's like, you can get 1 game, and it's got to be a $5 game. And the kid just kept walking around and saying, Daddy, can I get this one, Daddy?
How old?
Like 10.
It's a little past the daddy.
Yeah, no, exactly. Age. It was incredibly weird and off-putting, and he just kept whining. It was just a whining situation where he kept picking up different things, and he just kept pushing his dad.
Was his dad responding to that or ignoring it?
Yes, his dad was responding to it, which is awful.
Yeah,
which is awful.
That encourages more.
So that was real bad. And at one point, the kid got so bad that his dad said, that's it, we're going.
Oh.
And they left, and I heard the dad yell at the kid. And I'm like, oh, thank goodness.
Thank God for discipline.
Then the kid walks back into the store, and his dad's chasing, like calling after him. And his dad comes into the store, and the kid has another game in his hand, and he goes, Daddy, can I get this one? And he's like, no, I told you we're leaving. And the kid just starts walking around looking at games again, just completely not listening to his dad. And finally, the dad falls back into the routine, and he's like, you can get 1 game.
Oh.
1 game that's $5. One that's $5.
You're rewarded bad behavior.
So his dad's trying to,
Placate him.
Trying to placate him, trying to, get him to pick something. And at this point, he's just like whining to the point where it's almost like there's tears. Daddy, I want this one. Well, that's a mature rated game. I told you can't have a mature rated game. And then he finally like picks a game. He's like, all right, Dad, I think I want this one. But I want this one too. And he's like, 1 game. And he goes, but Dad, literally, he goes, but Dad, I want 2. But Dad, I want 2.
It's literally Cartman.
Yeah. And I'm telling you, he was 10. That's a very safe
Not 5,
guess.
10.
10. Yes. Not 5.
2 years from puberty.
10.
He had some stubble coming in.
So finally they're looking at the Game Boy Advance games, and
oh my God.
The kid's like, meh, meh, and they're looking at the games, and he's like, Dad, can I get this Yu-Gi-Oh! Double Pack? And it was like a $7 game. And his dad, and once again, I think his dad's holding firm. He's like, no, I told you $5. So they pick out a couple other ones, and the kid's like, and the dad's like, one of these will be fine. Which you like this stuff? He's like, yeah. He's like, all right, well, which one do you want? He's like, I don't want those. I want the $7 one.
Oh, wow. So now he's bending that rule again.
Yeah.
He's trying to negotiate up from his dad saying bottom dollar.
Yeah, he just wants to break his dad. So, and then he, after, oh shit, where was I? God damn it! No, I lost my
$7 game.
Oh, so the dad's like, okay, fine. The dad's like, okay, fine, but and this is where it drove me nuts, because then this is where I knew exactly what kind of kid this was. He was like, you have to do better than school. He's like, your grades need to be up, and you need to stop getting into fights with other kids. So you know that this kid is just a little shit. When he's on his own in school, he just thinks he's the baddest motherfucker. But then he's
underachiever.
Yeah, and then
straight C's.
And then he's picking fights, acting like a douchebag. I can just tell you, I hate this kid.
Wow.
Sorry.
Wow.
This kid
he hates that 10-year-old.
Yeah. Holy shit. So he's just a fucking searing asshole.
He's a little brat. He's a
little brat. But then when no one else is around and it's just him and his daddy, he's gonna whine like a fucking.
So act like a little baby to get his way.
So, anyways, there it is. That's the only one I'm telling about. I mean, that's fine. I'm annoyed.
You're annoyed?
now. Yes.
Does it make you want to have kids more when you say this stuff, Ian, or less?
Yeah, I can't wait to have 5.
You want to have 5?
I don't want to have kids at all.
Why have kids when you have cats? All right.
Yeah, that's a good point.